afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Out of Focus Tech. I'm Adam, and with me is Vic tonight. And we're going to be talking about a couple tech subjects. Mainly one big one going around the tech community right now is this supposed Facebook ban on Linux and Linux related posts. Vic, have you seen any of this going around?
Yeah, there's been a couple things going around, and it just, at first glance, it's like there's absolutely no way Facebook could like just ban Linux like that. No way.
Yeah, I also found it hard to believe at first. Even still, I'm having a hard time really digging down, trying to figure out, what really is going on. Was there, you know, there's been a lot of commentary I've seen, a lot of banter on the chat threads and like Reddit and that kind of stuff, and but nobody really is pointing back to any hard articles. The exception of everybody keeps pointing back to the original stuff from DistroTube, I guess a little over a week ago now. Um, and then in trying to research it this evening and pull it up, like I was on page 4 of Google before I started finding what I would consider news articles or anything other than um, like Reddit and stuff. That term's escaping me. I can't think of it, but where I could find anything, talking about it other than just people complaining about it in a message thread somewhere. Not that there's not validity there, but it was like, okay, I need something more than the same 7 people linking to the same 2 articles to really understand what's going on. You sent me that video that we'll put up here in a minute, so you see what we're talking about. And he even looked like he was having some hard time finding some facts. So I kind of wanted to dig into it and look at it because I find it odd. You know, Linux is it's a major operating system out there in the community, or in the tech world, really. There, of course, a lot of people think of Linux and they think of like, uh, you know, the free and open source software movements, or if they think hacker, they think like Kali Linux and doing hacky things. And there's a couple different perceptions out there, but there's also enterprise Linux. A lot of website traffic, a lot of web applications, all backended by Linux. Linux is a very large, has a large presence and a very influential member of the tech ecosystem world. And it was really surprising that even got enough traction to get to this point, because Facebook itself has to run on, is backended by a lot of Linux stuff.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so I think when I found that video this weekend and I sent it to you, I remember who that was. It was like Tech Linux News or somebody like that. Kind of put, it was the first time it hit my radar, and I was like, hmm, this requires further review because it's just odd. Um, so when I started looking over the last couple of days to bring it up and so that we could talk about it here, um, it it just got more difficult to understand. I was really hoping. I guess I went into this thinking, oh, this was a hoax. Somebody posted it. It went viral before it could get, before it got taken down, or something like that. Um, and then you sent me this video. Uh, pull it up right quick. Uh, Not that one. This one. From the Lunduke Journal, and he was digging into it. I'm not going to play this whole video; it's almost 20 minutes. Um, and he come to the conclusion um, that they weren't that it was just DistroWatch that got banned. And for those of you that don't know what DistroWatch is, it's an unofficial Linux website that just kind of tracks the popularity of Linux distros within their little sphere of influence. They do articles as new distros get released or updates or take spins and that kind of stuff. Um, and I kind of agree with what Lunduke was saying on his video here. Like on the face as you look at it, like I could see where if that was the only information, if the only information he really did get was what he featured in his video, I could see very much how he came to that conclusion, and I was willing to accept that. I'm like, oh, okay, so DistroWatch must have inadvertently done something or they've gotten upset over something, all of which is fine, but not really world affecting. This is going to boil down to some kind of beef between DistroWatch and Facebook. Um, and but after doing my own research now, I'm not 100% sold on that. Did you kind of get that same conclusion from the video, Vic?
From the things that I looked at, I think for me it boils down to this is just some drama between Facebook and DistroWatch, and DistroWatch being a pretty big site. They can put something out there like that, like, hey, Facebook just banned us, and then you got all the news outlets, just taking this and running with it without doing any research because that's what they do nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, and it was weird, and so I've got my Google search pulled up from where I was looking for some of this stuff, as I want y'all to understand. Look, I'm on page 6. I'm on the fifth O in Google down here. I never go this far, and I had to go that far to get past thread comments to get to really something. And MSN is not what I would consider leading news authority, but just something that's not just thread comments. And nowhere in here, and I could have missed it, but nowhere in here did I actually see Facebook put anything out from through their official channel saying no, we didn't ban Linux. Or no, this isn't a Linux ban. You DistroTube has violated our standards, or didn't pay us his bills, something, whatever it might be. But they haven't put anything out that I could find readily available either. Um,
I did find one thing where it said that it said from Facebook, and then it had like a statement. Says this enforcement was an error and has since been addressed. Discussions on Linux are allowed on our services, and I think that came from Tom's Hardware, I believe. Don't quote me on
yeah,
that.
so
I know it was something like that that was on there.
yeah, I got the one from Tom's Hardware. I think this is it. Um, yeah, the this is Tom's Hardware as well. Facebook admits that the Linux topic crackdown was an error and has been fixed. Um, PC Mag, I also found right before the MSN one. They had something to say. I don't remember what it was now. Facebook accidentally blocks users from posting about Linux. Um, so this made me think, well, maybe there was some validity to the original alarm bells. That's two articles that say that some kind of error caused this.
So,
Um,
um, for what I found, there was an article or a thread on their Facebook page, on the Distro Watch Facebook page,
mhm,
and they were talking about Kali Linux,
uh-huh.
and that post got flagged, and then it kind of triggered other things to get flagged. So, you think did this have anything to do with AI automations? You think that some of the posts were flagged and it was just an automated mistake?
That could very well be it. It could have been it could have been AI discovered somebody talking about Kali Linux and went, "Ooh, Kali equals hacker," because that's linked somewhere. It could have been a user didn't like the newest Kali Linux logo and flagged it just to be spiteful, and AI took off and run with it. I heard maybe it was in the video you sent me from Lunduke there that maybe there's also the possibility that maybe there's just through a rabbit hole of links between Facebook and DistroTube, maybe there is something that got like legit that, violated a guideline somewhere. And I'm not saying that DistroTube is like trying to distribute bad content. That's not what I'm trying to say. Just, I mean, they use ads just like everybody else. So, through the rabbit hole of hyperlinking, you know, things can happen. I'm happy to blame this on AI. I would, and I could actually
Yeah.
see now that I say that why maybe Facebook wouldn't be up and so quick to admit it, because they're investing pretty heavy in a lot of AI stuff, and I don't think they want to give anybody reason to distrust it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It most likely was some kind of automated mistake,
Hmm.
but they don't want to just come out and say that.
Yeah.
It's just it kind of generated like an automation false positive.
Hmm. Yep.
I mean,
And I'm realistically, I'm okay with that as long as you have the policies and procedures in place where somebody that feels that they were erroneously blocked or censored, prohibited, whatever you want to call it, can appeal it, and you can handle it properly within a reasonable amount of time. I'm okay for small mistakes like that to happen. Like, nobody's perfect, even if it was a human. Maybe it was some poor college intern that's never used anything other than Windows, and the only thing he knows about Linux is that when he sees the little dragon logo for Kali Linux, that ooh, bad hackers are coming. Uh, and I'm not picking on anybody, but that mistake. I'm just trying to be fair and say that mistake could happen with a human behind a keyboard just as well. It's just like I'm still amazed that Facebook has really let it go on for a week now and not been making a bigger deal about this. Like, look, no, we're not censoring people from talking about Linux. We're not trying to censor anybody, especially since they've come out. I know, was it last week they made that big announcement they were going to be they were going to lessen their censorship
yeah,
on
they got away with the fact checkers and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. So it's like, in light of that, I would think they would be all over this, going like, whoa, 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 no, no, we're not trying to censor or keep anybody from talking about this subject. Like, lay it all out there, whether it was a mistake, whether, you know, there's like a legitimate tie-in, uh, I, I just, it's really weird to me that they haven't done that. They are not standing up for themselves in this case. And,
Or
yeah,
or
maybe,
or
I'm
maybe
sorry,
this
go
is
ahead.
just part of their that announcement of not censoring things. You're like, well, we're just gonna let them talk. It may be true, may not be true. But there was well, in that video, I guess it shows where they did
Hmm.
remove a post,
Yeah.
but I do believe all that's been corrected now. So I don't know if the post is still deleted and the account is still shut down, but
Yeah.
from I mean, if you go to Facebook, I do think that the Distro Watch page is back up. So
Yeah.
they're
Um,
probably just letting people talk, and uncensored.
yeah,
That's the
and
only thing I can think about.
yeah, I really think it's weird that I don't know. Like I said in the beginning, like Linux is such a big part of the internet as a whole, whether people realize it or not. That I could see very easily. I can see how one can go down the rabbit hole of looking for Linux topics and being directed to uh, some websites that would encourage someone to run scripts and programs of nefarious natures. But that's not 98% of the Linux communities out there. You know, a good 90% of them are communities, or pages and communities where we're trying to get people access to the tools to use Linux, the knowledge to be able to use those tools, and to just be able to grow and learn overall. And then you have, the 5-6% that are all the just go read the docs communities, but they have a place too. Um, I just I feel like if there was any validity in this, they painted with way too broad of a stroke.
Just thinking like how did Linux become a cybersecurity threat? Most things run on Linux.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't realize the amount of things that actually run on Linux or some forked version of a Linux kernel. Um,
Especially when you're always seeing ads for, job ads from Facebook for Linux
mhm.
developers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they run large websites, web applications. I mean, they have to be all up in Linux. I mean, that's just the way of the world. You know, and there's many reasons for that. I think one of the biggest ones is that you know Linux overall, like just for running applications, it's a little bit lighter weight than running a full blown like Microsoft Server OS or some of those others.
Yeah. Speaking
Um,
of Microsoft, I wonder how much Linux Microsoft runs.
Probably a good bit. Um, I'd be willing to bet that if their AI stuff isn't straight up running on a Linux kernel, they're running on a very heavily forked kernel.
Hey, I
Um,
mean, hey, they better move that
I
over
mean,
to Windows because not sure if Microsoft has heard, but it's a security it's a cybersecurity threat.
right. Well, and I mean, think about it though. Like, what was it like? It's been out for like 4 or 5 years now. But I mean, you even got like WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux, so that you can run Linux programs on Windows. Um, and like I said about the AI, look at the top of the ticker. Microsoft just pushed Copilot to Paint. Uh, you know, so like that AI world is expanding, and I'm be willing to bet a good bit of it's Linux backed.
Yeah, I bet too.
Um, so it's just I mean that's just the way of the world. Um, I would I'm glad that this is being fixed though, and that at least it is. Even now, it looks like it has waned. Officially or not, it looks like whether there was a problem, it's been fixed. Maybe DistroTube is still having some issues, but I also don't think Facebook was DistroTube's main social media outlet. Um, they have a Mastodon presence. I think they've been pretty big on that because they're big FOSS advocates, and I'm okay with that. So um, I don't know. I just I don't. I think that it was overall blown out of proportion. Um, but just the way that it traveled so quickly, and then the lack of, because if Facebook, I feel like if Facebook would have come out, you know, the second day and said, "Hey, look, this is what happened," or this, even if it was a lie, this is what happened, this is how we handled it. Like you can post about Linux or whatever. This would have not been an issue.
Yeah,
But here we are.
my bad. Yeah,
But hey, maybe Facebook needed the revenue from everybody getting on Facebook and trying to make test posts about Linux and DistroWatch. Maybe
you know
that
what?
they needed to get that many people on to boost up their ad revenue or something.
You know,
I don't
I
know.
didn't even think about that aspect of it. How much money has Facebook made from all this extra traffic?
Yeah, there's no telling. Just like in what is it they say in politics? Even bad press is press, or something like that. Like even if they're talking bad about you, at least they're talking about you.
And then you
Um,
got to think too. How 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 many more clicks did DistroWatch get on this? I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that they made some money on this Facebook ban or whatever you want to
maybe.
call it.
Yeah, I mean, I, I don't know that I
You-
I would have a hard time believing that that would be DistroTube's motivation in this. 'Cause I mean, they're a well-known platform
I
or
mean, I doubt it
resource
too,
on their
but
own right.
bet you they made some
But
money.
you
In
know what?
fact,
If it's a happy side effect, I'm pretty sure I would cash the check. I won't even lie.
hey,
Um,
you know what? Out of Focus Tech is banning Linux.
oh well, then I got to sign off.
You should put that. We should make that the title.
Mm,
Another YouTube channel bans Linux.
hey, why not? I'll do it. Mm, I mean, I would have to quit participating. Granted, I'm on my Mac right now, but I'm a heavy Linux user. I know you use Linux a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I've got two Linux servers in the house running different
Yeah,
things, uh, different projects that I want to do. But
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I got a Linux desktop here. I still rotate around different desktop distros of Linux and goof off, and I ran a Linux main production desktop for quite a while here. Um, I thinking about doing it again. Um, but it's I like Linux. It does good things. I primarily switched over to using a Mac because I just like the way my Apple everything ties in for my Apple ecosystem, and because I don't work on this computer. I don't think about it like you know, this is where I do all my fun things. So it's nice that what I was looking at on my phone is also in the same web browser when I pick up my computer. Or I can, you know, because it's Apple, I can do iMessages from my computer, take my FaceTime calls, all that stuff. But I would if this computer crashed tomorrow, I'd probably do a fresh install Linux Mint on this desktop over here, and that's what I would be rocking for my main production screen or computer.
so what's the verdict? Is Facebook kind of banning Linux and labeling it, you know, cybersecurity threat?
Uh, I I tended to think in error that was the original thing, and they quickly retracted.
Yeah, it
What you
could
think?
be. I think it was just an error, but is Facebook going after Linux? I don't. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't see it. That's one. It's too broad of a subject. It would be an ugly circle of circumstances. I think because you can't sit there and attack. Uh, we'll call it an ecosystem because it kind of is an ecosystem of the ecosystem of Linux and everything that's around it. When so much of modern technology relies on it, and I mean, Android phones are a fork of a Linux kernel. Um, Android tablets, all this stuff. I, I don't know. I feel like that's too broad for it to really be anything intentional.
Yeah. So no,
So
Facebook is not banning Linux.
no, no. I think we're safe there. It's been fun to talk about and fun to think about, but it also, in my mind, this does prove just how easy it is for big tech to censor things and people not even realize it. Something as harmless as I can't talk about my favorite operating system for a couple days on Facebook. I mean, how quickly? What would have happened if they'd have changed the search string from Linux cybersecurity threat to um, saw a police officer equals terrorist? What kind of havoc would that have wreaked across the platform and across the internet?
Yeah, we definitely be making a different video right now.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I think if nothing else, this proves we should still be leery of how big social media has gotten, and most people look at it as a legit media outlet and look at how easy it is for them to pull subjects out of circulation.
Yeah, this has just been some drama between two companies, and
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is what it is. I think I'm out of things on this subject. You got anything else to add to it?
No, that's it. Yeah, there's no way. This is false.
Yeah. No. So just don't trust Facebook too much. Don't trust any of the big tech too much. And we'll catch you out of focus next time. Good night.
Good night.